What's your value proposition as SumTotal?
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you very much for the opportunity for us to be here at this conference and to obviously talk with you today. So our value proposition is really quite straightforward. As a global leading human capital management, talent management software vendor, our key value add is that ultimately we improve the performance of organisations via empowering their employees. And whilst that sounds good, I guess more importantly is how we actually go about doing that. So what we do is a multi-pronged approach. We align ourselves to leading advisory firms, leading thought analysts in the industry, and most importantly, the changing dynamic of the marketplace with respect to human capital.
Okay. So how do you distinguish your offerings for a small and medium enterprise versus a large corporation?
Basically, we work across industry. We've got a plethora of global clients from banking, finance through to smaller organisations. And what's really more important is really the compelling drivers for such an organisation to look to partner with us. So certainly organisations who have complex requirements, perhaps the governance and regulatory driven, seem to be a really strong sweet spot for us. So to answer your question, we've actually got companies who may range from 1,000 employees through in India to some clients who have 200,000 employees. So it's a really diverse go-to-market, and we continue to serve that end-to-end market well.
One of the themes for this conference also has been design thinking. So I would be curious to know how design thinking is integrated into your product approach.
Yeah, absolutely. So design thinking is really critical for us. We've looked at how the marketplace has changed, how we can tie into people's strategy being critical, and we've looked at situations or current situations where millennials, for example, are now making up half or will soon make up half of the workforce globally, and in India we understand that it's sometimes 70 or 80%. So we've really had to change the design of our software solutions so that they're really orientating themselves around the marketplace. And we know from a technology perspective, there's been disruptors out there. From a consumerism perspective, we look at social media, we look at other disrupting technologies out there which really try to target and understand that it's really around an individualised, personalised approach now, and whether they're end users or customers, effectively to really orientate and align to the market, you have to have a design which really facilitates that. So we think that, in all modesty, we've been really successful, particularly with our latest release in capturing that requirement in the marketplace.
So, Rhys, based on your experiences, what are some of the things that you would like to share with the HR leaders that they need to look out for when they are evaluating a technology solution?
Yeah, first and foremost, I think that HR leaders really need to look for a partner or software vendor, technology vendor, that understands the marketplace. That is aligning their technology on an ongoing basis to perfectly marry what's required in the market. So we look at concepts now such as individualized learning, personalization, employees looking for that individualized career development within an organization. So if I was an HR leader, I'd be wanting to know that partner or that vendor I'm looking to partner with more so understands the marketplace and can take them along that journey. And ultimately ensure that challenges such as skill shortages, cultural changes within organisations such as millennials now taking up a significant part of the overall workforce, that vendor encapsulates that, and the technology platform can align itself perfectly to business strategy.
What are some of the differences that you see between Indian consumers and the way they behave with respect to technology buying as compared to their global counterparts?
Yeah, so a really good question. So India, for us, is a really strong market. It's a real focal point for us in our global business. And I think that India, obviously, as we know, is a really fast-growing economy. Indian organisations are becoming a lot more competitive on the global stage, and so too are Indian employees. So there's a change, I guess, in the organisations really needing to focus on retaining those employees and perhaps not losing them to overseas or just to competitive recruitment from other organisations in India. So to answer the question more accurately, because of those factors, we find that in India, it really amplifies all of the factors that we're seeing on a global level. So factors such as millennials and skills shortages and the requirement for employee engagement and perhaps cultural engagement issues in organisations. It's just more so of an amplification in India. So it's a great market for us to work in, and we're really having a good time with our focus in this territory.
What are some of the expectations that you would have from a conference like TechHR?
Yeah, so to be honest, it's actually my first conference I've come to in India, and I've been to them in other parts of the world, and I'm really impressed from what I've seen. It's a meaningful conference. I think that the utilisation of industry leaders and thought leadership and the various meaningful seminars and workshops that are going on really couples and assists in that overall experience that both vendors such as ourselves are getting from here, and also, and more importantly, the actual delegates that are coming.